Oh, what's good, people? This is the Option Podcast, but maybe not. This is Sports Debate Tuesday. It's been a minute. That dude looks like Rob McLean. This is episode 91. Guess what? The episode starts right now. Hey, what's up, people? Got to give the people what they want. Got to give the people what they want. But for my man Rob, I got to sing it this way. Hated I love it, the underdog's on top. And I'm going to shine, homie, until my heart stops. Go ahead, envy me. I'm the cast MVP, and I ain't going nowhere, so you should get to know me. Along with my man Rob, keep it. McLean. I'm Jason DeBeas. This is episode 91 of Sports Debate Tuesday. Bobby, what's up, man? It's been a minute.
What's happening, man? We back at it.
Yes. God is good, my man. God is good. So, a lot to talk about, man. Brett Favre's in some hot water. A lot of stuff that happened in the UFC, but honestly, a lot of stuff stayed the same. Didn't even feel like last time we met. A whole lot changed, you know. And got some quick questions and Antonio Brown. Maybe we'll talk about him at the very end because he's the gift that keeps on giving. But first things first, this is what people paid their money for. This is why people listen to Sports Debate Tuesday. We have our NFL Pick Six. Now, we are week 4 into it, but in light of the fact it's a 17-week season and we only got 10 more episodes of this left, Robbie, me and you, let's dance. Let's start with the first one. Your G-Men, the New York Giants, are playing in London against the Green Bay Packers. Bobby McGee, who you got? Floor is yours.
Man, anybody would take the Packers. I think a smart person would take the Packers. I flirted with this on both sides for a bit just because the Packers have not looked good. Their defense has looked great, but their rushing defense has not looked good. And that's one of the only things that the Giants offense is actually capable of doing. The Giants defense is still yet to show up. And I think what a better time to show up against Aaron Rodgers with an actual pass rush, with 2 pass rush players who have been out multiple weeks. So I think it leans in the Giants' favor. I think being in a neutral position leans in the Giants' favor because now both teams are kind of a toss-up in what they're going to be capable of bringing on that field. I'm going to go with the Giants because I just feel like they have something going in the right direction. So I think this is a game that you kind of circle on the schedule before the season comes up and like, hey, this is neutral for both teams. We can take the advantage as long as we come out, hit them first, and just play the right kind of football. And I think that's exactly the way the Giants are set up. So I see success there. I could see the Packers, faltering another week. So I'm gonna go with the Giants.
You know what? This is a very, very interesting pick, right? Because everybody's eye test says pick Green Bay. You got Aaron Rodgers. Usually after like the first 3 games, he tells everybody relax, and then he wins like the next 12 of the next 13, right? Usually finishing first or second inside the inside the 1 or 2 seed or whatever and this and that. But with that being said, there's something about the Giants that's always given Aaron Rodgers the willies. Whether they had good teams or bad teams, Eli throwing multiple interceptions, Eli beating him a 15-1 Rodgers team a few years ago, a decade ago, en route to the Super Bowl. Remember, they were 15-1. And I totally get why you would pick the Giants for this. And in light of the fact that they're in London and neither team has any superpowers, and it's kind of a toss-up, which is all the same reasons why I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I think this game is going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think this game is going to come down to the end. And I honestly trust Aaron Rodgers a hell of a lot more than anybody else, from the coaching staff all the way down to Daniel Jones, the quarterback or whatever. But I will keep in mind Saquon Barkley. That dude's a problem. The dude's a problem. So it's one of those things where I'm picking Green Bay, but we come back next Tuesday on this debate show, and if I got to eat that crow, whatever, man, I'll put a little salt. Put a little sugar on it, dose it with some mustard, maybe a little marinade, put it on the grill. I'll eat that crow. I'll eat anything between two pieces of bread. All right, topic number two. I'm going to go first on this one. We have the Lions visiting the New England Patriots. Let me tell you something. The Lions, they're losing these close games, and some of it's competitive losses, and some of them is just Lions luck. But there's something different about this team. They're fun to watch, and they're not giving up on this coach. Which after this year, if they don't have a winning season, we both know he's gone because, coaching 101, you never admit your mistakes and apologize. It's like really like running for office. You don't admit you're wrong because this society today they're rarely forgiven if and never forget. So see, he admitted it. He sucks. He admits he sucks. He's gone. So, but very much like Jim Fassel when he put himself on the line, very much like some of these coaches who Harbaugh put themselves out there. That motivates a team. They're gonna play for him, and they're gonna play. I know New England's a tough place to win, but they ain't got Brady there. They ain't got McCarron there. They don't even have Hoyer there. I got Detroit.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I flirted with this a lot as well. The Lions. I mean, I watched some Hard Knocks, before the season came out, and I follow the Lions a little bit now. But I think that they're, especially, I mean, if you watch the numbers they put up, offensively, they're a team to watch out for. Jared Goff is a real time quarterback. They have a running game. They have, they have a lot of pieces on the offense. They just have to get that defense going. And honestly, to me, that doesn't seem like the hardest bit to do. I think that their defense just kind of hasn't shown up. Again, I could be wrong. I could watch the games a little bit more detailed, but from what it seems like, it's just kind of they just have to not let up touchdowns. Just give up some field goals. Try to get off on on third down. But yeah, I think that Detroit has been doing this for about a year and a half, and one of these weeks it's going to click. Where they're going to put up 48 and not let the other team go past 24. And I don't see why it can't be this week. So I really look forward to Detroit, making that breakthrough in the next this week or the next week to come.
Yeah, right. Can the Patriots even put up 24 right now?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
if the Lions give them stuff on special teams and defense, yeah,
But yeah, even still, I mean, the Patriots aren't made for a slugfest. So
there's
they
some
put up
not.
45 either way. I think Detroit's going to win.
Yep.
So
All right, cool. Our pick six, we got game three. We have the Bears visiting the Minnesota Vikings. Bobby McGee, you go first on this one. Who you got?
yeah, I mean, I
Vikings
got the
hosting the
Vikings
Bears.
on this. This is always hard to pick because these teams play each other a lot, and so they know each other really well. So it's not as one-sided as we might see. The Vikings are also really just up and down. You never know. I thought they looked fantastic this year. Last week they kind of made me think twice that they're the old Vikings just again. So we'll see. I picked the Vikings, but just like you said about the Packers, I could easily eat that next week. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings because I think it's the easy pick. But I could see the Bears come out and hit them right in the mouth.
Yeah, this is a very, very easy pick. I think Thielen, who's been really, really quiet the first week or week and a half for all you fantasy owners, I apologize and I share your pain because I got Thielen on my fantasy team too. But I was very, very happy with him last week. I think I'm going to be happy with him this coming weekend. I picked the Vikings as well. Um, game four, the only undefeated team left. Our the NFC zone, not our Philadelphia Eagles. I can't stand that team. They boot Santa Claus. The Eagles are visiting the Arizona Cardinals. I'm gonna go first on this one. You got Kyler Murray, you got Jalen Hurts, man. Just a great graduating class of quarterbacks from Alabama, transferring to Oklahoma, and we knew all of them would be worthy to play in the NFL. It's a very worthy matchup, worthy game to watch. But at the end of the day, I think. There will be no cry Eagles cry in this one. I'm going fly Eagles fly. I think they beat the brakes off the Cards in their own house.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult, but I definitely see. Um, I mean, I could see that the Cardinals playing how they should be playing, but I don't see that happening. I think they've been a shell of themselves since last year, since that DeAndre Hopkins injury, and the Eagles, man, they look like a whole nother team. Um, they look. I mean, they got Fletcher Cox back. They put what's his name, big dude from Georgia, down there next to him, and Imagine that a guy that's 340 could, Jordan Davis can pass rush just because he could throw people around. You got. I mean, I think they really to think back to what the team they had maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even when, like just after they went to the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz and all that team, Nick Foles, like they've had a squad. They just haven't been able to put it together. Now that you have like a quarterback, I mean, I don't think Jalen Hurts is anything great. I just think he does what he needs to do, and he has the ability to be dual threat. Man, that team's scary, dude. That
Yeah.
team's scary. When Jalen gets out of his own way as a passer and kind of just lets it go,
Hmm.
he's a good quarterback, but he's definitely some hurdles he's got to overcome with that. But yeah, I mean, with this game right here, Eagles all day. I think Eagles are going to be one of the toughest teams to beat in the next couple of years to come, and it's just really about how long Fletcher Cox is going to stay in the league.
Yeah. Hey, coach, the coach had something to sell and they're all buying it, you know? And someone like Jalen Hurts, who played for Bama, where it was all about team, right? Where that's not really necessarily won by the quarterback. They just beat everybody
True.
on all ends of the ball and then have to transfer to Oklahoma, where it's quarterback heavy. He has kind of that unlimited freedom to throw away. He operated under two different systems and had to take control and had to give up control. So you got this second year quarterback, you got this first year head coach or second year head coach, I'm not sure. Um, and they have this college style environment, and when you have professional players with that college go getter mentality, man, and that selflessness and occasional selfishness, they got the right combination at the right time, man.
Yeah,
What a great
they do.
comeback,
They
huh?
do.
I mean, I think they were down by like two touchdowns, and then I was like, man, cry Eagles, cry, boom, 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 boom. So
Yeah,
all right,
good
game
defense
five.
keeping the game.
Game five. We got to always have them in our pick six, but we're California guys, so we have the Rams hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Hmm. Do I go first?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it's you.
Hey, you know what? Cooper Rush turned out to be a pleasant surprise. He went from a quarterback that doesn't beat himself to a quarterback that needed to drive, at the end of the game for a game winning field goal to a quarterback that's got a relationship with his receivers. That team is galvanized. You know what I'm saying? And the receivers are diving out for this guy and they're playing hard for him. And the Cowboys are playing more like a team because it always seemed like Dak felt like he had to do more, felt like he had to make that extra run, get those extra yards. Dak put a lot of pressure on his shoulder to have to do more than what he used to. And they're not asking Cooper Rush to do that. And now they got a good team. And asking what they won, Johnny. That means they're only going to lose by 8 points. I got the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good game.
Yes.
I don't think I think that what people are talking about Dallas's defense being the real deal. I mean, they are, and the biggest
Micah
thing you can get,
Parsons.
yeah, the biggest thing that you can get in on a football team is a pass rush at this point, right? If you beat the offensive line, if you beat the quarterback, even if they're running the football, it's good for them. They're not going to win games like that. So if you get to the quarterback, which is what the Cowboys defense is doing, and then you have a really good piece on the back end. I mean, that defense is scary in today's day and age. Trying to get a pass. That's the game. So I would love to see what Dallas does against a true top tier offensive line, offensive scheme. And I don't even think that the Rams are necessarily the team that's going to break the Dallas defense, but it'll be a good test for both
Right.
sides.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be a great game. And, we'll see then what Dallas's offense is capable of putting up against the Rams defense.
Yeah.
But
And
again,
they
another
better have a
true
hell of a
test.
scheme for Aaron Donald. Because right now,
Right.
physically,
Right.
that when that guy is healthy, you got people not voting for a quarterback for a regular season MVP. All right, when was the last time we saw that? Ray Lewis, and before that, LT. He's special. That dude's
He's
special,
special.
man. Man, yeah. All right, so the last game, this is the sixth of the pick six. We have the Cincinnati Bengals visiting the Baltimore Ravens. Robbie, you finish. You go first.
Yeah, I mean, I want more out of the Bengals. I really wish the Bengals would be the team they were last year and then some. It looks like they took a step back, which is understandable. It was like Joe Burrow's true first year last year. It was, Jamar Chase's true first year last year. So I think at the end of the day, it was a great year, but they got to build as a team, each individual players. I just don't see like them taking that step forward from where they were last year. And the Ravens, man, I'm still surprised that they're not 4-0. I mean, the games that they've lost this year have been just like, oh my gosh, like they lost this game. So it's like
They, they blew two
I
of them.
think
They could have. They were two and right. They were
blue,
blown leads from
blue,
being 4-0. Two of them. Two blown
you
leads.
know, and even the games that they won, they kind of like let the teams come back a little bit at the end. Same thing with Kansas City and Tampa Bay the other night, where they kind of let Tampa come back a little bit. It's like don't do that, don't do that. Shut the door. 48-20-24 is a lot better than
Yeah.
41-31.
Close the door all
It's a
the
big
way.
difference.
Yeah. Close the door all the way.
So I feel like the Ravens are going to mature. Hopefully they don't get injuries because that's what killed them last season. But they're just going to keep continuing to mature around Lamar. And yeah, he's played fantastic football. We got to get that defense involved. Kind of the same thing with Detroit. But again, I think these are the weeks that you start to figure out if a team is going to start to click or if it's just going to kind of sputter along for the rest of the season. So like you're saying with the Rams, like you're saying with the Lions, like you're saying with the Ravens, I think it's all kind of the same deal where you kind of get to see what that team's made of in these weeks and then
Mhm.
see if they're able to build and surprise themselves, other teams in the later weeks. So
It's
I got the Ravens. I really think the Ravens are gonna dominate again, and
Mhm.
hopefully the defense will find another way to stop the Bengals.
All right, you got two evenly matched teams here, and who are probably going to finish 1 and 2 in a division. Maybe both teams go to the playoffs, but right now, considering the AFC and everybody being losing these ridiculous games, it's going to be tight at the end. So there's going to be some teams that are not happy. I strongly believe Pittsburgh and Cleveland are going to be out, and it's going to be these two. But with that being said, with one team 2-2, I don't know if both teams are 2-2 or the Ravens are 1-3. But I think no, the Ravens are 2-2, but I don't know if the Bengals are 1-3. But this is a game even as early as it is, that can send both teams in opposite directions. There's this inherent fear that can send, because we've seen this every season. Like these early games, one team goes this way, one team goes that way, and I'm not tap dancing around on who I'm picking on this one, because I'm going with the Ravens. I just think they do really really good things on defense. They just have to be able to do it for all 4 quarters. Is it going to be a tight game? Yeah, because you got the comeback kid, right, in Burrow against a team that's more than accommodating as far as blowing leads is concerned. They might be in the same situation, but I think because they've been in the same situation and they've let these opportunities slip in their fingers, they still trust the coach. The coach trusts Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's such a great player, so humble, man, so much fun to watch. I got the Raven. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like right
Yeah,
now, two teams in the beginning of the season, two really good teams, and whoever loses this team's gotta be really careful. They gotta be. That's gonna be on our quick question. Oh, I'm
mm,
leaving it at the end because that might be the quick question that takes the longest to answer. So we doing quick question later. And,
sure.
and this discussion might resurface on this same episode, but for now let's move on to mixed martial arts. All right, Robbie, we got whole bunch of changes, whole bunch of things stayed the same. Volkanovski, just a savage. Right now, I think he's number one on the pound for pound list. It's him or Israel Adesanya, but the same camp, city kickboxing, same camp, same bunch of savages. Um, and but there have been some changes, right? Kamaru Usman got kicked in the head by Edwards with 59 seconds left. No one saw that coming. We were just like, we were Joe Rogan, like that face where it looks like a Halloween movie. Like grab someone, like death grip someone. It's crazy, right? Isn't he fun to watch? So,
Yeah,
but now,
yeah.
but for this week until the pay per view comes 2 weeks from now, we'll pick winners next week. Let's talk a little bit about the fighters who have been out. All right, not Conor McGregor. Uh, um, that'll be on quick question. I'm very interested to see if he's going to fight someone or whatever. We're going to talk about Jon Jones. Now, Jon Jones has actually teased former, actually, for anyone listening, he's the former light heavyweight champion, many refer to as the GOAT, though Rob will disagree with that. Jon Jones has taken some time off to prepare for his heavyweight debut. Okay, because he's been out for what, 2 years, right?
A year and a
Yeah.
half. Yeah.
So there was a rumor and a tease that he was aiming to fight at the end of the year. I doubt that. I don't think that's going to happen. But let's say it happens this year, or let's say it happens the beginning of next year. The question is, Rob, who do you think is or should be his first opponent? Before you answer this question, do we both agree he should be a high-profile opponent, somewhere in the top seven?
Um. Yeah. I mean, I think it really depends, but yes, I agree with that to an extent. Yeah. I think that he won't accept anybody but a high profile opponent. So I would have to agree with that. Yeah.
Would you like me to go first? I'm all excited about this.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think his first opponent should be and most likely will be Stipe Miocic. With styles like there are a lot of guys in there are a lot of good stand-up fighters. Rosenstruck, Derek Lewis. There are a lot of good wrestlers. Daniel Cormier is retired. Stipe Miocic is a really really good wrestler. But Jon Jones' mixture of wrestling and jiu-jitsu is just nasty. And if he's putting on the mass and this and that, it is the matchup who he wants because he doesn't think that Stipe Miocic's wrestling presents a problem for him. And Jon Jones has got a chin, and we already know he could take a hit.
Yeah.
But you don't know if you can take a hit until you've gotten your ears boxed off by someone that's like Stipe Miocic. Does he have one punch knockout power standing next to Francis Ngannou? It seems like nobody does, but the answer is yes, he does. He's knocked out Verdun with one shot. He's knocked out Mark. He's actually he actually finished Mark Hunt, and Mark Hunt, you could drive a truck into that dude, right? So Jon Jones, Miocic welcomes it because he thinks it's a mistake. Jon Jones doesn't think it's a mistake. Two guys that want each other, high profile fight. I think it's going to be Miocic.
Yeah. I mean, what is Miocic rank right now? Is he number two?
I'm
High
gonna
up on
check it
that
for you.
list.
I'm gonna check it for you right now.
But
Okay.
what I was thinking is, there's a couple ways that can go about it. I think there's a positive list, and there's a negative list. Um, I think if he's smart, he would pick a high ranked guy
Mm-hmm.
that he definitely thinks that he could defeat, take that ranking, and then there's no way that somebody wouldn't have to fight him. If he's at a top four ranking, you got to fight one of the top four guys.
Check it out.
I think the way he's doing it right now is,
Check it out.
oh well,
See it?
yeah, he's number two. Yeah, okay, okay.
Yep.
Now, yeah, Cyril Gaines. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, I of course he's going to want to fight in the top four, but I think a fight like Tui Tuivasa would be great. A top four fighter, somebody I think he totally has like many physical abilities over somebody who hasn't really been tested on the ground. I mean, there's a lot of things to like about that fight matchup. I think a Tom Aspinall again. I don't think there's a lot of
He's so fun to
you know,
watch, dude.
yeah, I think that would be a great fight. I don't think there's a lot of fear maybe for John on the feet as much. Thinks that he can maybe out wrestle a guy like that. I think a Chris Dalkus, a guy that would be kind of maybe easy pickings to get into the rankings, and then you can go up from there. Um, I think there will be probably guys that Dana White want to see him against. Like a Rosenstruck or I think Volkov would be the best fight.
That'd be
Um,
awesome, wouldn't it?
right? Or obviously a Derek Lewis, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Tai Tuivasa would probably be the smartest decision for him to make. Get him in the top five, undeniably, in that top slot where he can start challenging, or even just get a championship slide, just because you're a top name. I think that also has to be brought into the conversation. Like Jon Jones can get a title fight because he's one of the top names in the MMA, in UFC. I think that just has to be known. And if Dana White would just say that, it would be a lot easier for people to understand and swallow why Conor McGregor keeps getting, title shots, because he brings in money, and because if he's gonna lose, he's gonna lose.
He gave
Just
it to
let him
Cormier.
lose. Right.
He gave Stipe to Cormier first match, belt a chance to be a double champ. And John's star power is a little bigger than Cormier's is. So, and
Yeah.
the only reason why they didn't push that, because come on, who's the champion right now? Yeah,
And again, they don't want he doesn't want that, which I'm
no,
sure they
they don't.
just gave him on the
Nobody
side.
right
Hey,
now.
you want
Nobody wants that sauce.
anybody want Francis? Yeah, take him.
The only one
My
that wanted him
goodness.
was Cyril Gahn, and then Francis showed everybody that you can wrestle for 5 rounds, and I'm like, oh my god! So in addition to knocking people dead, the guy can wrestle too. Oh my goodness! So
Yeah,
definitely,
that was scary.
definitely
Scary.
looking forward to this. Definitely looking forward to this. All right, Robbie. Topic 3. We move back to the NFL, but this time we move off the field. Okay, the state of Mississippi has filed a civil suit against Brett Favre and several other parties to recover more than $20 million in misspent public funds that were intended to help individuals on welfare. The civil suit implicating Favre states the former quarterback used welfare money to fund a university volleyball arena for Southern Mississippi, a team, incidentally, that his daughter plays on. So, Rob, what was your initial reaction when you first heard this? And as data and the facts just keep coming in, what is your reaction now?
My initial reaction, I believe, was Brett Favre did it again. He does something that he not only it's just kind of like unbelievable that somebody in his position, who has the ability to immediately pay back somebody $1.1 million, but not the interest, pay back the $1.1 million, but you can't fundraise in a legal manner to go get this money. You don't know friends, you don't have people around that you can't like find to donate, get fundraising. It might take 2 years, it may take 5 years, it might take 7 years, but you can't find the way to get monies and donors, right? That's how people do it. That's how people with connections do it. And so to think that not that that may have or may not have gone through his mind, but the choice that he made, or the choice that was made, whether he is taking ownership of this or not, because it doesn't seem as though he um, is that public funds were taken to do something where he's connected to, where he has legitimate connections to, where, I mean, there is material that's out that's connecting him to him in public record. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's
Texas
bad
blowing
business
up.
for everybody. It's
Yeah,
bad for everyone. And
yeah.
where it's really bad is people won't look Favre in the face and tell him he's wrong, you know?
You
And,
know,
and at the end of the day, this comes back to the fans. At the end of the day, football players are people too, not just in mental health, not just in what they need to be themselves and to recover from all that they give in the entertainment realm to everybody else on this planet, but that they, when they make mistakes, they need to be held accountable for them. And you can't, just because somebody is so good, or the things that they did in their past are so good that they couldn't do anything wrong in the current time. That's what the message we are sending by allowing Brett Favre to sext NFL people while he's in the NFL and get away with it, or have Brett Favre take public funds from people who actually need help and put it to what? To a southern Mississippi volleyball facility. And what does that do for anybody? And I mean, I'm a volleyball player. I'm not trying to be mean, but what has Southern Mississippi done for anybody in the volleyball community? Like, they haven't won nothing. They haven't been competitive. I haven't heard anything out of anybody's name about Southern Mississippi. So the only reason that that place could get money like that is from local people, local donors. And now we find out, no, it's not even that. It was stolen from the people of that city to be put to an unnecessary commodity. Commodity. That's what it is. So it's sad. It's really sad. And when you look at how, I mean, again, maybe he could get charged for it, charged not, maybe not for it. That doesn't mean you have to apologize for it. You could apologize even if you didn't do something wrong. Hey, my name's caught up in this. I don't even know what happened. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to make sure it's right. I haven't heard none of that. All it's been is my lawyer is going to speak for me. Damage control, damage control. That's how you know he's in my mind, he's guilty before he's innocent. Now, that's coming from me as a person where if I know I did something wrong, or if there isn't an ounce of guilt on something that I might have done, I'm going to address that because it
Yes.
needs to be out there. And I don't want anybody else making their own facts up for a situation that I know what's happening. So that's on Brett and everybody for making their mistakes and not owning up to them. That's on them, because the facts are out there. So that's how I feel in this situation.
Do you know why I'm laughing? Because it's not really funny. It's not a laughing matter, but
So,
like even in wartime situations, something so outlandish and so over the top and so ridiculous to comprehend, the laughing becomes an involuntary reflex. It's the reason why people can laugh when there's bombs blowing up around them, and that's the reason why uh, um, Chekhov play, The Seagull is a comedy in 5 acts and no one laughs, all right? So a lot to unpack here, but I'd like to start first by saying I co-sign with what you said about Southern Mississippi's indoor volleyball team. Though on the beach, there's a guy named Taylor I met last year, or actually saw this summer. Man, he's doing some good things for that women's beach team, man. And I'm about 1 or 2 drinks away from actually referring to that dude as a mensch. He's highly respected and this and that, and I'm sure his heart is breaking right now. So I wanted to get that out of the way. Right about that, but I wanted to educate our masses on some of the wonderful things that Southern Miss is doing on the beach volleyball scene, and I hope to see him in Gulf
yeah.
Shores. Gulf Shores,
And guess what?
maybe in a year or
They
two.
should have they should have put that money to the beach volleyball facility. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
To
Give it to someone that
somebody,
needs it.
it would
Those
be
they're new facilities. Give it to
understandable.
someone that needs it. I agree.
It would be understandable. I'm not saying it's even correct, but it's to be understandable if a program that was succeeding got a new
No doubt.
digress.
No doubt. So check it out. I'm going to bring up two very, very strong points. One, since I got our guy out of the way, he's a near mensch. I'll talk about him later. What does Terrell Owens and Brett Favre have in common? The answer to that is they both love me some me. Terrell Owens says it out loud. Brett Favre, in his heart of heart, knows it, and anyone that's ever been associated with him or interacts with him sees the same ego. Where does the buck stop between the two of them? People went through Terrell Owens' life with a fine-tooth comb, looking for any reason why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Some kind of, off the field trouble. Did he get busted for weed? Did he have an altercation with, or did he beat up a woman? Did he push someone? The dude doesn't have anything as, not so much as a parking ticket. And he mentioned, if this were me, you know what I mean? And I'll leave it at that. That's my first point. My second point is, when you live on this planet long enough, you have something called a sniff test. You don't like to assume things because people say assuming means, you know what, out of you and me, okay? But there are things you can assume. You see a guy wearing blue, wearing a badge, has a gun. You're probably gonna assume he's a cop, right? See that guy with a big red truck, fire hose, got a Dalmatian? I'm gonna assume he's a fireman, right? Now, when you're texting the governor or lieutenant governor of Mississippi that let's hope we don't want this to get out to the media, I'm going to assume it's something bad. If you have communication with someone, like if the media I'm paraphrasing, if the media got a hold of this, it would be a problem, or you know what I'm saying? There might be some bull job or some esh. When you send a text like that, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. And I'm not sure if all of this is true, but I think enough of it's true. This doesn't pass my sniff test. I have this saying that he who believes in everything is true is just as dangerous as the person that believes none of it's true. But so with that being said, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. And just like you said, when you're in this situation, you're stuck in this dichotomy. There's only two things you could do. You just come clean. Say you're sorry. Say I'm sorry. You're Brett Favre. They'll forgive you, right? Or you hide.
Literally.
You hide, right? Because me and you
hide
were
through
shaking.
lawyers.
Yeah, because me and you were shaking our head like he could say sorry and all be right with the world, and it just makes us just go, pff,
And that's to be a
like
whole nother conversation.
yes,
But he hasn't taken that route.
yeah,
And that's the other
he's
thing
hidden.
about and that's the other thing about privilege,
Hmm.
because I'm not going to call it racial privilege, or I'm not going to call it, you know, rich privilege, or it's just privilege. He could do something like this, and if he apologized and over time, he would be forgiven for it. Which again, it can be forgiveness, but like, who am I to forgive him?
Mm-mm.
That's not up for me.
No.
That's up for the people of the community that he stole $20 million from. That's who he's got to apologize to. So,
Yeah.
like, for me, like you're saying, assuming that he doesn't care because he could just apologize straight up for his own name, so we all know. But at the end of the day, he's still got to apologize to those people because he took the money out of their pocket when they needed help at the very worst time. It's like,
How much
that's
is
why you don't,
enough?
this
And
is
how
why
much
you
is
don't
enough?
steal.
And how much
Well, I
is
mean,
enough? Right?
this is why you don't
The guy took
steal.
speaking fees and didn't even pay that back.
Right. That's crazy. But
Yeah.
again, this is, again, those are, I think this is a whole nother conversation
Yeah.
of the privilege that people will allow you to do or allow you to have money. And oh, yeah, you'll make a speech eventually. What is that? I still don't even get that. I think that's just, a way of laundering money nowadays
Yeah.
where, oh, speakers fee. Like, who's going to pay somebody in advance to make a speech that they don't even know it's about? Hey, we're gonna have a congratulatory speech for something in like 3 years. Can you do it for us? Sure. What's it about? I don't know. It's just gonna be something. Like what? How do you get paid $5 million for that? You know what I mean? What in the
No.
heck? It just seems like like somebody's just getting money for no reason.
And I can't
So
stop laughing. I can't stop laughing at something that's not. I mean, for everybody who's suffering as a result of this, I apologize. But if I'm a betting man, I bet a lot of those people are like giggling and laugh involuntarily laughing at this
this is
situation. It's
ridiculous.
so obviously stupid and
Yeah.
irresponsible and some would say evil. I don't know if I make the selfish, you know.
I mean, it could be right upside the way of
You're
evil because
you're not a
somebody
good
had to
people
have
don't do
known.
that, dude.
Somebody had to have known.
Good people don't do that.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody had to have known something. Hey, we're gonna take this money. Where are you getting it from? I don't think you want to know. That right there should be the problem. You know what I
You know who's
mean?
in worse trouble? His lawyer. His lawyer
Yeah,
already came out and said Brett Favre didn't know where the money came from. We know that's a lie because it's inconsistent with the text messages and messaging he's been sending back and forth with the governor. Who the governor said, I ain't trying to go to jail over this. I mean, that's code for we're talking about something criminally, criminally insane outside the bounds. So yeah, dude, I'm with you. We
yeah, it's
dropping
crazy.
Brett Favre for now, but let's have a little fun. I'm gonna get my countdown
Yeah,
clock, but first things first, we got to do this segment. Haven't done it in a long time, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you to shame or not to shame. Sorry, I'm bugging out right now. There it is, and boom.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Robbie. Oh wow, isn't that awesome? So Rob, to shame or not to shame as we got our scoreboard. Let's see. Let's talk about the obvious, something we haven't covered yet, but it was a matter of time. Buffalo Bills, my guys. Hey, 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 hey. Let's go, Buffalo. Hey, both of our teams, 3-1, man. We could rule the world together, Rob. All right, Buffalo beat the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens, 23-20. Now the controversial play is Harbaugh, with very very little time left on the clock in the fourth quarter, decided to go for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal. Um, Man, Monday morning quarterbacks are just on fire right now. And there's only a handful of people that defended the place, but I punted to you. You punted back to
yeah.
me for the extra point. Rob, to shame or not to shame? Go.
I mean, I think it's pretty simple. Like at the end of the day, there was 4 plays to get points on the board because you are still down 23-20. So if you're not going to get points on the board, That's your fault. I mean, there's so many things that can happen in 4 minutes. I get the whole march down the field, but there was also a point in the game where Buffalo was down by 17 points. There was also a point in the game, like, there's only so much you can do on a comeback to just keep coming back. Like, you can't score 7 drives in a row, So at some point, you have to put trust in your defense. At some point, you have to build your defense up to go and win for the rest of the season. So you might not win this game. You're building your offense up. You're building your. What about your defense? Your defense letting up 35 points a game. It's ridiculous. It's like the Lions right now. So at the end of the day, you have to make your defense better. It's simple to put the ball between the uprights and to put emphasis on your defense. And if you win or lose, you lose as a team, not on the back of Lamar Jackson. But yeah, I still think they made the right play call. He made the run. He could have executed it, and it would have been fine. He should have ran. I don't know why he didn't run. But at the end of the day, you put the ball in the hole. That's it. So if you got 3 on the board, put 3 on the board. Go play defense. Lamar might get another minute at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Now we're having a whole different conversation.
Yeah, because Buffalo doesn't get paid by the hour. They march up the field pretty quick. So here's my take. What does Pete Carroll and John Harbaugh have in common? They went with the analytics. If you remember, Pete Carroll decided to go for a throw, and because the analytics said you were less likely to get that ball intercepted than the fumble. You're more likely to fumble. Yeah, but you're more likely to fumble that ball the 1 yard line than intercept it. What's his name? Just like Carroll, he went with the analytics, and he followed the logic, and he followed the sense, and at the end of the day, he was wrong. And the reason why you're a head coach is because you have something that's inherited from the old school generation, if you're not old school yourself, called your gut. You have to trust your gut. If your gut tells you to go for it, and that's fine. But he used analytics as a rationalization, and I didn't like the move. You got the best kicker in the NFL, right? Let's say Buffalo comes back and they drive down the field. Let's say you hold them to 3 points. Like you said, you still have time on the field where if I feel like if Lamar Jackson got to the 30-yard line on the other side of the field, Justin Tucker was going to win that game. And look, your defense gives up points in bunches. Your defense shuts down teams in droves. But at the end of the day, it's not about momentum as much as it's about how do you think your team's going to finish. I thought the Ravens could have locked it down a little bit. I thought the Ravens could have held Buffalo to a field goal. He didn't think so. He thought Buffalo was going to score, so he felt like he needed the score, and I get that too. So we got another one. We usually have one, but today we got 2 to shame or not to shames. Okay, but before we do, I got to show you the picture, Rob. In fact, let me see if I can find this picture first. We're going to talk about DK Metcalf, if you know where I'm going with this. DK Metcalf, here's the picture, got carted off the field, and nobody knew why. We found out why the hard way, Robbie.
Yeah, I heard about this one already.
So, Rob, to shame or listen, we'll just explain to everybody what happened. He got carted off the wheel because he had to go to a bathroom break. Now, I'm going to go first. To shame or not to shame? Rob. To quote the great Robin Harris, gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go, gotta go. And he was quoted by saying, the clinch walk would not have made it. I feel for this guy. Look, it's embarrassing, but it's something we could all share a laugh. And I would rather share the laugh. He chose the lesser of two evils, Rob McLean. He chose to go out on the cart as opposed to try to clinch and run it and poop his pants. All right. He's DK Metcalf, not Doo-Doo Brown. All right. We're not trying to have a moment that lasts in the annals of football shame history a lot longer than that cart ride would have ever done. The cart ride, you're going to share a joke, and nobody's even going to remember that unless they win the Super Bowl and it's part of the NFL Films thing. So good choice. No shame. Get out there. Clench it tight, brother. And if you can't, get on that cart. Rob, floor's yours. Do you even need a whole minute for this?
I don't. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't. I guess I wonder how that call came in. I wonder where that call came from. Did he call his coach that he needed somebody? Did he go to the medical staff? Like, and I wonder how long it took. Like, was he urgent? Was he like, yeah, yo, I need a cart right now, or like, there's like, hey, we're gonna go get a cart for you, no worries. But yeah, I don't know how that whole thing transpired because it seems like if he just started walking, you probably would have made it there a lot faster than if you didn't.
How big's a football field, dude?
It's true, but I mean, come on,
100
man.
yards is basically 300 feet.
Yeah, I mean, hey, again,
Yeah, look, you
I,
ain't gonna
I
do the
don't know where
40
he was
with
at.
your butt cheeks clenched.
No, I don't know where he was at. He could have been far gone by that point.
The horn rescued us all on this one.
You know,
What is wrong with me? That's not right. That is not right, dude. All right, so we are going to go
Shame.
to our next section. Ooh, that chick wants to scream at me again. Did you hear that? She screamed shame. Shame on her. I didn't ask for that.
Septa Unala.
Yes, that was. We know what that was. That was what, Game of Thrones, right? That was Cersei
Oh,
taking
yeah.
the walk of shame. Man, that
Hmm.
that had to be the. I mean, I treat Lord of the Rings like it's not Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones like it's real, but man, that's like the worst walk of shame I've ever seen in my life,
Yeah,
in fiction
that's
or
terrible.
in fact. All right, so Rob, let's go to our next section. We are going to quick question, my man, and here we go. All right, Robbie, setting up our quick question. Let's. I remember I used to sing this. Remember, quick question. All right, so as I set up my thingy, got to get rid of that Metcalf picture. There it is. Rob, quick question. There are a slew of MMA commentators out there. The guys who do color commentary: Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, Dominic Cruz, and now you got referee John McCarthy at Bellator. Just great guys breaking down the great guys, and analytical guys who have all but superseded, if not erased, classic play-by-play guys. So with only a handful of them left, and only a handful of them left to do a good job, who do you think is the best play-by-play guy out there? I'll go first
Um,
because this is a quick question, but I
yeah,
did
sure.
the long question, so I'll go
Go
short
ahead. Go ahead.
answer. Mauro Ronaldo, Bellator.
I feel like Joe Rogan, but I actually really like Kenny Florian or
Yeah,
even Dominic Cruz. I think those are
yeah,
probably my favorites.
cool. Those are color guys. Like Anik would be like a play-by-play guy, but that's all right. I get what you're saying. Totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Play by. Quick question, Rob. Should Prescott play the Rams if he's healthy this weekend?
Uh, no, I mean he's not healthy, so he's not going to play. I don't feel like they should rush him back, so I would say no.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, he's shooting for this weekend, but Cooper Rush right now is fourth in the league in quarterback rating. You just need someone. You know, the Rams will hurt
Yeah.
you if you go in there halfway. So I say no. I'm with you. Quick question, Rob. Kenny Pickett replaced Mitchell Trubisky for Pittsburgh. Should he stay the starter? I'm going to go first. I say yes. The guy was 10 for 13. Unfortunately, his three missed passes were all interceptions, tip drills, and a Hail Mary at the end. So none of them really his fault. But like 10 for 13. And unfortunately, all three were picks. What do you think?
He looks good, man. I was really happy with him in the preseason. I like the way he looks. I think he looks calm, for a rookie quarterback. He looks pretty nice in there. So I think they should absolutely stick with him. I don't think Mitch Trubisky is anything special, and yeah, I think that's their best option going forward.
Nice. Quick question, Rob. Is this LeBron's last year?
I don't think so. I think he wants to play with the Suns, so I think he's going to try to hang out for as long as he can. Last great year, probably, but yeah, probably not his last year.
I say yes. Quick question. Will Zion make it through a whole season? I got to say no.
I mean, probably
82 games.
like every single game, probably not. But is he going to stay majority like a healthy majority part of the season? I think he will. I think they're going to limit him and play him a certain way in a certain manner. And yeah, I think he'll make it through 60 games.
Right.
I think that's an average amount.
I like it. Quick question: will Baker Mayfield make it through the whole season as a starting quarterback?
Nah.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, between him and Sam Darnold, they're twin scrubbing it right now. I mean, and the guy's fresh out of excuses. He went from a situation where he had great receivers and great running backs to another situation where he has great receivers and great running backs, all capable coaches. And I'm a New York guy, right? We're New York, New Jersey guys. You are what your record says you are. Either you do it or you don't. Forget
Yeah.
all that other bull jive, right? Quick question: which two teams will be in the World Series?
World Series?
I'll go first. I
I
got
mean,
Astros and Dodgers.
I go Dodgers and Yankees. That's fun. It's a fun, like,
Oh, I would love that. Oh, come
right?
on.
That's old school
Represent.
classic. That's what
Right.
I've been waiting for.
My man's got 4 more
But we'll see.
games to get past 61, man. Doing
I
it right. And
know.
he's being tested up the wazoo too, right? I mean,
Well, I mean, he's not getting legit. Like, nobody wants to be the guy who pitched. I mean, that happens for every single record. Nobody wants to be that guy. So,
right. All right, quick question. Will the Lakers actually who's the best what is the best conference in the NFL right now?
yeah, NFL the best conference. I mean,
NFC
record
East is
wise,
looking good, man.
honestly,
NFC East is
probably
looking good right
NFC. Yeah,
now.
NFC East. Yeah, but I think. Yeah, I mean, if we can go from right now, I'll probably say NFC East, just because you got teams that win, you got teams that are tough. The Philadelphia is one of the best in the league, but from right now, week 4,
hmm
I could say NFC East. That's fine.
I normally say the AFC West, especially since Russell Wilson has joined them with the Broncos, and they'll get better. I just don't know if they'll get significantly better. He's taking a lot of bumps at the end of his career in Seattle, and I hope he just gets through it. But I got to go AFC East. I think Miami's doing really good things. I think Buffalo is. I think the Patriots are not going to stink forever. I said the Jets are the only bad team, and that was a team that beat Cincinnati and Tennessee, who were the number, who was the number 1 seed and the team that made the Super Bowl. So I go AFC East, but I'm a prisoner of the moment, of course.
Yeah.
With this hat to my left. Um, Quick question: should the Miami coach, the doctor just got fired from Miami because of the Tua Tagliabue thing? Should the coach get fired too?
Nah,
Mm,
but I mean, there's got to be some like there's got to be some something from up top. Like,
mm,
it's got to be a draft pick. It's got to be something done, because that's egregious. It was seen by the public on live TV 2 weeks in a row. I
hmm
mean, that's bad, man.
Yeah, that's
You're
terrible.
talking about protecting the shield. That's probably one of the worst protections I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely one of the
You
worst I've
just
ever
you
seen
just
too.
brought the concussion. You brought the concussion conversation to mainstream media. I mean, that's
Yeah, you
the
did.
last thing you want to do.
And not just that. I mean, saying it was a back injury. The dude did the chicken dance. Come on, give me a break. So,
Back
so I'm with
injury.
you. I go a quick no. All right. Quick
Did he hurt
question.
his back? Did he hurt his back
That
when,
made him
like,
do the chicken
because he
dance.
got concussed? Like, did he chicken dance because he got up concussed and then he hurt his back when he felt like that? Or
Nope.
whoa, 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 whoa. Come on now. It's bad when your offensive lineman has to hold you up and is telling you,
No.
"Hey,
Tell him
we
stop.
need to stop."
Yeah,
That's probably when you know.
exactly. But I'm with you. No, coach shouldn't take it. He's not a doctor. He can't medically diagnose or clear someone to come back. He doesn't have the authority,
Yeah,
even though coaches do fall on that sword. Quick question: will the Lakers make it to the conference finals, NBA finals, or neither?
neither.
I got to go neither either. The West is wild. Though I mean,
Wildly.
they'll be lucky to make this conference semifinals.
Mhm.
Last
You
quick
should go back
question.
to Cleveland. Go back to Cleveland.
Quick question. What team with a losing record do you still have hopes for? Right, Raiders were 0-3. They just won one. Lions had some bad luck. Um,
But to make the playoffs, though.
yes.
I got the Saints,
Wow.
primarily because of their
Dalton.
defense.
Yeah, and Dalton's with him now.
You got the defense. You got Michael Thomas came back. You have it's there. It's just Jameis is Jameis. So they got to figure him out and get him back to what he was last year, or you got to hand the reins over and.
Yeah,
But yeah, that defense is real deal.
no doubt.
And that's you got to lean on that a little bit and get a couple wins here, get the team rolling.
Well, for me, in the history of the NFL, there's only 6 teams that started 0-3 that made the playoffs. It's the Jets. It's 1981. The Bucks, Chargers. Then, like a decade later, the Lions did. Then the Bills did in '95. And I guess the most recent one after the year 2000 was the Texans. So only 6 teams. So I go Raiders. They blew a lead the first game. I mean, they should have been 2-2. They're 1-3 right now. But I think from this point on, if you look at the like a tail of the tape, like a pound for pound thing, man, they're going to be a tough out against everybody. But if they continue to beat themselves, then they'll just make a liar out of me.
That's the thing I'm worried about. I think if you look on between it was Raiders too for me, but the Saints, I feel like they have more pedigree behind them to actually make it to the playoffs.
No doubt.
They've done it before.
No doubt.
Real deal.
Cool, man. All right. Hey, that's the end of quick question. But Rob, before we go, I want to give a shout out to our man Antonio Brown, who continues to be the media gift that keeps on giving. He had a video showing him exposing himself to women, sexually harassing women at a Dubai hotel, and then post pictures of himself and Giselle on Instagram after the whole nation knows that those two have been fighting. Not about football, says Giselle. This dude is the gift that keeps on giving, and the media is more than happily to oblige. The second shout I'd like to give, big up to Kevin Durant and Billie Jean King for financing and launching $16.75 million, which really means $17 million bucks, to help and launch an indoor women's professional volleyball league. As you know, you and I know they already have a bunch of them, but this is big, big money. And my only challenge for Kevin is to make sure that they enlist the right people, stay away from some of these people who have been part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Because the biggest problem, you and I are both volleyball guys, the biggest problem we know, and you ain't got to say nothing on this because I ain't trying to have nobody come to your practice, all right? But the biggest problem we have right now is they pour all this money into it and they enlist all the same people who have water balloons with holes in it. And then the water just goes out. So 17 million. I mean, if you think 17 million won't disappear that fast, you watch some of these guys who have been part of the problem. I'm not naming names, but I can name names of some of the people I think that might be part of the solution. I think John Kessel has good direction. He's not a good administrator, and I say he should stay the hell out of that. But as far as volleyball and this and that and locations and cities, I think he's really, really good with that. I would like to have Greg Faulkner, young mind who plays in the men's pro scene. He's got some great ideas and who travels around. He's got H's in different area codes, so he knows where indoor volleyball's heavy, and you can make a lot of home teams for that. So I'd like Ulysses from who's the founder of Balmeso. Balmeso is a team that I set for that actually went to nationals. They won 2004, 2005. I didn't go with them, but Frankie Valdez did. Batista did, and this guy's been doing some really special things for men's and women's indoor volleyball, but particularly on the women. His wife's was a member of the Dominican national team. So big up to Kevin for caring. Big up to Kevin, Billie Jean King for investing, and mad love to the both of them for that.
Yeah, all I got to say to that is maybe KD and his partners can go to Brett Favre and tell him how to legally get a volleyball court and league going for less than he paid, apparently. So, yeah, I can only imagine that conversation. Hey, man,
that's
how did you
awesome.
Do it? Well, hey, man, how did you do it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
Too much, man.
Yeah, come on. Look, tell you what, it wouldn't be hard to find good color commentators if they enlist the right people who are looking in the right place. Who's the best color commentator out there for Indoor and Beach? My man, I strongly believe it's me or someone else. So Chris Marlowe still hasn't given up that reign. He's started this 3.5 decades ago. I'm not saying push the guy off the cliff, but someone take the baton. He wants to hand it off. He's doing Nuggets games right now. Sorry.
Not
Hey,
a terrible gig.
hey, before our Zoom time's out again, and before I got to yell at Zoom because I gave them money just for them to do this to me, to do me like this, is there anything you'd like to say to our general Sports Debate Tuesday population?
Just stay happy, stay healthy, y'all.
Stay happy, stay healthy. Rob may love you guys, but I'm not sure. No, no, no. To hell with that. I love you guys too, okay? So for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPad, for all of you on your iPhones, for all of you on your desktop, who runs the world? Old school, old school. Look at that. San Francisco and the Rams are playing right now. San Francisco leads 17-9. We're watching that game as we speak, as we're pre-recording this. But for now, for my man Rob, keep it, McLean, I am Jason DeBiss. This is episode 91 of Sports Debate Tuesday, and we're out, buddy. We're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify, and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.